All right, welcome back. Supergirl issue number 4. I am getting pumped. I love this run. This series is pretty great. I love narrating it. I love talking about it. So, yeah, we're just going to go in to recap what happened last time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe also, by the way. Helps out. We've been seeing a little bit more volume. But to recap what happened last time, Supergirl and Ruthie went to a town. They realized that these people called the Brigands, they came and slaughtered half of the people, slaughtered the purples, and apparently one of the men was with them is Krem of the Yellow Hills. So they're on a mission to go chase them down. So let's go ahead and hop in because this one is a very interesting story. I was the youngest in my family and so did not have the experience of many girls my age who must endure the co-mothering of their budding siblings. Now, there were cousins who were born after me, and I'd go along on the visits and watch the cooing and carping of the other kinswoman. But the plains are a desolate country, full of vast and lonely spaces, where each family must fend for himself. And such visits were infrequent and frankly a mite tedious. All of which is to explain why, seeing that babe screaming something awful, sitting in the hard dirt of Parnat, I was seized with fear and could not guess of what to do next. And of course, Supergirl goes over and nurtures the kid. It was fortunate that Supergirl did not suffer the same paralysis, and she comforts her. So where are they, you might ask? Well, Ruthie goes on and says that they are following Krem of the Yellow Hills, the underhand King Saget who had killed my treasured father at the sunset over our rock farm. Krem had allied himself with the Brigands, a wicked gathering of wicked men that went from place to place earning money on the carnage they wrought. We had paced the aftermath of their butchery across light years to this planet on the edge of the Kalos system. So basically, this is one of the planets that they've ravaged along the way, and we see a good number of those planets following them. It is only the beginning of a long and bloody trail we were to walk in the months that follow, and we see all of these. This is just an issue of seeing mass genocide. This issue is seeing Supergirl's kindness across light years while seeing multiple people just be slaughtered and the effects of this mass genocide. Because after Parnat, we traveled to Lincoln, a small moon that circles the planet Escalm in the Piats galaxy. And so they meet with somebody who has seen Krem of the Yellow Hills. Well, I did see him. It was after the start of some brigand had bombed the Hive Center, and me and my friend Flarg were running. Flarg was a good runner. He could run mighty fast. I need a head start to beat him in any race. Flarg and me went way back. We was houndmates, closer than anyone. He was a good guy, Flarg. My apologies. I think I said that, didn't I? I repeat myself too much. As my body has slipped, so has my mind. So we're meeting with somebody that seemingly has been injured but survived the Brigands' attack, but their friend Flarg did not. Anyway, after we saw what they were doing, the guns and the bombs and all of that, after we were running, not even thinking of where to go, just zigzagging, hoping nothing bad hit us or fell on us, we come right to this fellow. And Supergirl, being a kind person, is feeding him food. And she asks, do you think this was Krem? Well, I can't say for 100%, but he matches what you told me in terms of his face and sword and all of those details. I have been wrong before, and I have been wrong many times, so maybe I would be wrong here. I'm not saying I know it for sure, but I hope I am wrong. If you understand, I hope your man is plenty different from the man I met. Basically saying, I hope that the man you're finding is not a monster like the man who killed all of these people and Flarg. And we see this man has actually lost all of his limbs, and that's why Supergirl's feeding him, because he cannot do it himself. I hope your man has some mercy left in him. I hope that of all men. He went at Flarg right off, didn't even stop for a warning or anything. Just stabbed him through while he was standing there gawking. He was a real good man, Flarg. And he repeats, we were houndmates. Which is only the good thing to do. I mean, it's his best friend. He watched his best friend die in front of him. After Flarg was on the ground, this fellow who could be your fellow started hacking at me. At first, I didn't feel anything. I was mostly focused on Flarg, who was just carrying on like you wouldn't believe. Flarg wasn't very loud most of the time. I remember a lot of times people asked me what he was saying because he was so soft. And then at the end, he was yelling. And that was my honest thought. I was thinking, dang, it's a pretty loud Flarg. Didn't know you had it in you. And it's very sad. He is. I would do the same thing. He's just recounting all of his best friend's moments because he watched his best friend die, and you see some of the tears in his eyes earlier on too. At some point, I think Flarg must have passed and stopped screaming, but I didn't recognize it at first. I started my own crying out by that time, and I got it confused with his. And I was truly a bit startled when I realized I was listening to myself. Anyhow, that was something. I hope my story helps. I do appreciate you coming here. It's real nice they got nurses to do this, but it's crowded with so many of us. Sometimes I got to wait hours to eat. If Flarg were here, he'd help me. He was a good friend, Flarg. We were houndmates. So continuing on the mission, Supergirl goes to another planet with Ruthye. A week or so after that, we made our way to Tilius, which I was reliably informed was a sometimes secret vacation destination of one of the Royal Galactic family. I know you're asking, and therefore I'll do some answering. I don't remember. And if I did, I would tell you, I guess. Though I've spent much time in their company, I do not care for the pomp of royalty, and I have no need to keep their confidence. I can say that whichever spoiled tyrannicals they were not there when we arrived. We did not find many people of any sort on Tilius, and we meet with a man digging up graves, and Supergirl asks, how many have you done? Oh, a few dozen. Not too many, but more than I thought I would. Making some progress. And she asks, how many do you have to go? Well, maybe a couple hundred, maybe more. We didn't get hit hard by them damn brigands, but we were more fortunate than most. Mayor told me if I can get them done before the sun pass, they won't need a mass grave like other planets have. But my daughter's out there somewhere cut up, and I prefer to have her own slice of land, even if I don't know which one it is. And Supergirl, being a kind person, asks to assist. And the person denies him and says, you don't have to. It's my duty as a citizen to do this. Please, you don't have anything to get out of this, so ain't nothing to do but get it done. And she responds, I get it. We all have our duties, and it's mine as a neighbor to do what I can to help yours. Please. And so the person insists and says, I see your point, and to be honest, I could use it because my back is hurting. Maybe I'll help me go faster in the long run, which is worth something more. Anyways, Sun Pass can come up quick. I have no doubt about that. Thank you. I do very much appreciate your aid in this matter. So Supergirl, being a kind person, using the reason that we're neighbors, and I can do it faster than you, and I can do it for you. And it's just a nice thing to do for these people. I mean, these people have watched all of their people die at this point. This is like the fourth world that she's come across, just trying to get creme. And Ruthye says, I didn't see very much of what occurred next. Just a striking streak of blue and red crisscrossing across the horizon. And the person that Supergirl is helping had no idea that she was Supergirl, had no idea that she could do this way faster. If she would have, I think she would have asked, but decided to do it herself. And then Supergirl comes back to her. I did as well as I could. If I did anything bad, just let me know. I make mistakes. I'm a person. I can fix it. And I used my vision to look at your DNA, and I found your daughter's remains. I gave her her own plot, and I can take you over there to her. And the person that she helps is very thankful, very happy, and says, thank you, neighbor. And I like that. Even though they're not the same race, not the same kind, they can agree on something. They can be neighbors and assist each other with no gain to each other. There is no gain for Supergirl just doing the right thing. And then we see Supergirl on another planet talking to somebody saying, hit me. Well, you are small and I am large and that will hurt. No, it's fine. I swear it. Just pretend I'm one of these brigands. I did all of this to your friends and family. Just picture that and hit me. The person is having second thoughts like, why should I do this? Well, are you scared of me? What are you doing? Come on, do it. I am not scared, but you are small and I'm large. And Supergirl is not doing this out of hate, just trying to start a fight. She's trying to show this other person how to show strength. You are not large, and if you were large, you would have stopped them. All you are is small. And so the large person lets out all of their anger, smashing Supergirl down into the ground. Supergirl is just trying to assist. Just trying to help this person cope and show strength. Next, we traveled to Aurelium, a planet not often visited. For though they carry a vaulted reputation as a brutal soldiers, Eurlanians, on the whole, are reticent people who keep their own company. There we met a woman named Irisan, who had lost her family in the Brigand raid. She had been in another galaxy in battle with the Pix when the attack happened. She returned home to ashes and loss. Irisan's greatest heartbreak was that as much as she tried and tried, she was unable to mourn the dead. The emotions of the moment seemed captured in her bosom, and she feared that was where they would forever remain. So Supergirl decided to assist her and gives her a gentle hug. Next, Ruthye and Supergirl are outside of a gate on another planet, and the conversation is about Ruthye staying put, staying here, not going in with Supergirl. And Ruthye responds, well, I'm not some innocent, wide-eyed, moistened by the morning dew. I'm the one who discovered my father's wrecked body, basically saying I'm grown up at this point. I can do this. I've seen many things, and I'm a big girl now. And Supergirl responds, what are you talking about? I'm trying to save someone. I'm trying to save my dog. You don't have to see this, but I do. And if you don't have to, you won't. And that's the end of it. Basically, trying to save her from more trauma, because you don't need more trauma. Ruthye believes that trauma is what ages you. That's what makes you mature. But in reality, it's not. That's not how that works. There's nothing wrong with trauma. Trauma will help build character, help build you up. But think of it in Supergirl's point of view. Supergirl has a ton of trauma, and she's a grown person. Supergirl didn't want the trauma. There's no reason for her to ever want that, but she knows kindness now. That doesn't mean she wants to inflict it on anybody. So she's just trying to save Ruthye from experiencing any more bad, because that doesn't mean it's good for you. But Ruthye believes that trauma is strength and maturity, because she says, it doesn't make any sense. If you could suffer, then I can damn well suffer, as Supergirl already tells her no and walks in. The next world we went to is Tyrakum, which is not well known, and I would not care to visit again. Memories of navigating the lava forest there still appear in my dreams on days when my anxiety becomes particularly acute. Perhaps because of this monstrosity of their landscape, the people of this planet were determined to document the happenings outside of their shelters. They kept detailed records of all ongoings that would put even my fastidious mother, who cataloged every pebble of import and export, to shame. Thus, when Supergirl and I inquired, they told us they had tapes of the Brigands' actions, and we are free to watch what had occurred. Up to that point, we have only witnessed the after effects of their massacres, as we have seen all the people that Supergirl talked to before this moment. And I was eager, as all the young ones were, to see if the terror of my imagination of what I assumed had happened matched the truth of what had actually been executed, so to speak. And then Ruthye falls asleep outside the door, while Supergirl opens the door and comes back out. And Ruthye apologizes. I'm sorry. How long have you been in there? Did you see him? And Supergirl clearly doesn't have her mind on straight. Her seeing that really messed her up, because she doesn't even acknowledge Ruthye. She's like, I'm sorry, what? And then she says, I saw all of it. As we cut to somebody from the Brigands, this man sits at the edge of a cliff, or what looks like a cliff, and says, I have some last words. All right, let's hear it. I just want to say, before you all caught me, hell, I'd be lying if I didn't say I had a bunch of fun. So thank you for all of that. I'm in your debt. I'm done. Is what it is. Long live the Brigands. And then immediately he is hit in the face with a rock, as he deserves. And then a bunch of rocks come down more and more and more, killing him. Sometime later, we trace the Brigands of Yalia to a planet in the Vex system. Also, by the way, I'm probably butchering half of these words. Don't worry, I'm pretty bad at talking. The denizens of Yalia are known for their pottery, which is a shade of red only found in that tiny corner of the universe. And Ruthye says, whoa, I mean, I think he deserved to die, but I thought you would have saved him. And Supergirl, but not pulling the trigger of killing this man, so it's technically not her fault, didn't even try to save him because she's seen the effects of what they've done. As she says, did you honestly think I would have saved him? Regretfully, I did not see any of the renowned earthworm ware when I was there. Perhaps someday I will return and purchase some for my home. Next, oh, this is a beautiful panel too. I love this. We found ourselves on the planet of Ekvik, which carries the reputation of being one of the most peaceful places on Earth. The monks of Ekvik sat still when the brigands came, so a bunch of peaceful monks were murdered. And Supergirl says, I have to go. I can't. I'm going to scream. And I can't scream here. When I scream, I'll be, it's too much and it will break everything that's left of here. So I can't be here. We learn that the monks chanted to their gods, and the invaders fell on them like rain. All of this murder, everything is very upsetting to Supergirl. She flies out into space. What I write next, I write based on my observations in those long ago days at the side of the greatest warrior in the history of this august reality we call home. It is important to note that my assertions do not rely on anything Supergirl said. It is not a subject we ever discussed or even approached, but nonetheless I believe it to be as true as the turning of worlds. You see, what is not well understood about the daughter of Krypton is that her power was not one of action, but one of restraint, endurance, and passion. She did not choose to fire a beam from her eyes, or have breath of ice, or run faster than a speeding bullet, or any of the other well-documented miracles. No, she held back her heat vision to look you in the face. She warmed her breath to converse with you. She slowed herself to walk by your side. Every moment of every day, she suppressed the forces churning inside of her. All of the energy of a dead world that strained against her many barriers, eternally demanding to be released. Supergirl flies into the sun. And Ruthie is just trying to say here that Supergirl talking to you, she doesn't force herself to shoot lasers. She doesn't like activate them. She's suppressing them. Her natural state is just a flow of power. But she suppresses everything she is given just to talk with you because she finds you special and doesn't want to hurt anybody. I believe this effort hurt her. I believe she lived her life in pain. She's constantly in pain. But I reiterate it again, for I think it is important enough to repeat. These beliefs are based on my time on her side, watching her as she moved through strife and sorrow. If you were to have asked her, I have little doubt that she would have claimed that such an assertion was absurd. She would say she felt fine and well, and then she asked you if she needed any help. As Supergirl just lays in the sun, basically hurting herself, but also gathering up more and more power. But this is really a punishment. Our next stop was Nycelian. I will not write of what we witnessed here. Some tales are very too sad. When it was finished, we found ourselves sitting together under the stars. And Supergirl says we're close. Every step we get closer. And now I'm pretty sure the next planet, they'll be there. So I'm going to send you home, Ruthie. Ruthie, understandably pissed, says, no, you can't do that. I've seen him. I know how to find him. And I will. I can save Crypto. This isn't for you. I'll get a rocket and make sure you can get back safe. You don't have to worry about anything. And Ruthie says, you're just like that bounty hunter in issue 1. It's my father who was murdered. Creme of the Yellow Hills is out there living while my father is not, and that needs rectifying. This is my quest and I will see it to its end. And Supergirl says, I don't want to start an argument. It's just, you're too young. And this circles back to what Ruthie was saying earlier on one of the other planets. I'm an adult because I've seen terrible things. You can't keep treating me like a toddler. You of all people. How old are you? How many years did you have when you first saw terror? Basically saying we're one and the same. We're both grown because we've seen terrible things. We have trauma. Saying it more as a good thing instead of bad. Because Supergirl understands her point. I was a girl too. You were a girl. So what am I? I expected our quarreling to persist, as it had done many times before and would do many times after. Each of us doggedly insisting on who was properly responsible for bringing justice to his unjust life. 2 gravel mules fussing over which will pull the load. But that day, in stark contrast to many others, after weeks of death and desperation, I suppose Supergirl was just a touch tired. Even a gravel mule will buck on you if the load is too large. A well-treaded rock farmer knows you're better off harnessing 2 to the yoke than dealing with all that fuss. So instead of answering, she bent down, and I put my weight on her. And we flew off, up and away. Supergirl says, "You're right. You were a girl when you saw terrible things, as was I," and acknowledges her point and doesn't want to fight her, so decides to take her. We'll see why later. This is a very important moment of the story that she doesn't fight her, because Ruthie, seeing all this death, is still adamant about her mission, even more so. So with that, thank you for listening, watching, enjoying. Yeah, that's the end of this one. Peace out.